What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Locks presented by Scores and Odds. If you haven't already checked out Scores and Odds, you should do that. You should absolutely do that. Go get signed up. Absolutely fantastic product. We got picks from me, from Dean Chevelchen, from the Luch, from everyone, and we got this nice little prop shopping tool. So if you're wondering where the best odds are on Kershaw over 6.5 strikeouts, we got you covered. As you can see, it's minus 154 on the over at FanDuel. If you like the under, plus 130 over at Caesars. So boom, making the juice less, giving you the best odds on everything, and it just shows you where the odds are at every single site. So that alone is worth a subscription, but you also get access to Grant's Action Lounge Discord. Yes, that's my Discord. It is now premium, so you got to pay for it through RG and I think SAO Premium. So go get signed up. It's going to move over to exclusively SAO Premium, I think, sometime in the near future. But I'm throwing in every single bet that I have pretty much every single day. As you can see, all the bets that I have today, outside of one, I still need to throw in there. We got Jared Walsh over 1.5 total bases. But boom, go get signed up. I'm going to drop the Discord link in the chat here. It's just scoresandodds.com/Discord. Boom. Go get signed up. But I'm joined today by, some may call him my friend, some may call him my foe. I don't know. But Dean Chevelchen.
What would you call me? That's what's most important.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Depends on the day.
Yeah, depends on the day. That is accurate. Yeah. You never know. Sometimes you are my friend. Sometimes you are my foe. Yeah, we got a full day of baseball. We got some basketball games. I guess I'm going to hammer out my basketball picks real quick. I've got 3 of them. Dwight Powell over 1.5 blocks plus steals, sitting at plus 185. He had 3 in the last game. He said this in 2 of the last 4, 3 of the last 7. Probably going to need his size. Powell over that at plus 185 just seems silly to me. You can get it at DK. You can get it at Caesars. I think at the same one. Monte Morris over 4.5 assists. He said this in like 4 of the last 6 games, and we're getting it plus 120 odds over at DK. Just seems silly to me. And then one that Dean will probably want to weigh in on, that Dean's probably in agreement with me.
Which one is it?
Fred Van Vleet over 31.5 points, rebounds, assists. Without Barnes and without Trent on the floor, he averages close to 34 per 36. He's playing over 36 minutes today. We have him projected for 42. This is just a bad line here at minus 105 over 31.5. I think you're with me in that.
Yeah, well, I mean, Toronto's, they can only raise their minutes so many more from the regular season. Like a lot of teams, I'm sure you've noticed, elevate their minutes and then they squeeze the rotation as the playoff hits. But Toronto lost 2 of their players. Rathbad Young unlikely to play. 3. Well, Gary Trent did not practice. He's doubtful for the game tonight. And of course, Scotty Barnes, hopefully second in the Rookie of the Year voting. Scotty Barnes is not available. That's unfortunate. Like, it feels like they almost lost the series in game 1. So FEV is going to have to do everything possible. They're going to push them. But 42 minutes is really, really hard. That's like a median projection. It's really hard to project somebody for 42 or 48 minutes. But I think that's correct because Toronto's they're a thin team as is, and then they're losing. Thad Young, not that big a deal, but Trent and Barnes for sure. Trent most likely. It's like they just got to push him. They got to, and he got his week off, with his knee, and hopefully, he played, a couple days ago or a day ago, whatever it was, or he played every other day now in the playoffs. But yeah, he's going to have to make things happen. I did have a thought as far as the Powell one. I'm just a little bit concerned that he got squeezed in the fourth quarter last game, and it felt they closed with Cleaver, and maybe that's how they feel going forward. Powell only played 22 minutes. Just I don't know how much he fits this series here against Utah, and they might roll with a little bit more Cleaver. Bertan's got a decent amount of run as well. I don't know. It's just that's the only thing. You got a big number on it though, right? Like plus 180 or something like
that. On Van Vleet.
No, the Dwight Powell one. I
plus 185. Yeah,
to some degree.
Yeah, I mean, this has less than a 50% chance of hitting, but it's still positive ROI plus 185.
Sure. Yeah. You're firing at it because you get a nice number on it. What plus? I think you said plus 180.
185. Yeah.
There you go. Man. But I was on the show on Friday, last Friday. Well, whatever, a few days ago. It's now Monday. And first of all, nothing can, no matter how bad things are gambling wise tonight, we have to acknowledge that the Better Call Saul is back tonight, Grant. Get excited for that. It's been like over 700 days, the brand new season. So the day can only be so bad. We got Better Call Saul back in our lives. But last Friday, I was fully tilting because I took three things. I had three stands. I'm like, give me the Yankee homers. That did not happen. He put up a total of 6 runs in that series against Baltimore, 3-game series.
Yep.
And that was including extra innings. So that was pretty rough. I talked about the Mavericks +5, and they lost by 6. That was fun. And then the one I did not get the wager in on necessarily, or call the guy or know the guy, that kind of thing, was the Dodgers stolen bases. I talked about Mookie Betts at like 7 or 8 to 1 getting his first of the year. He got that, and Trey Turner at like 4 to 1. So very tilting betting weekend for your boy. But, it's Monday. We're back at it, and Better Call Saul's back. We have basketball playoffs, which is a lot of fun. And the baseball slate is happening despite the fact we've lost several games weather-wise. And there's a couple other that have some sort of weather issues. But, we'll talk about it. It's all about the Phillies in Coors. And, just wanted to get that. I was just, I think I tilted you via a text as well as far as
Yep.
the Mavericks and the stolen bases I didn't get in on, and then I just sort of slept at the wheel of that one. But hey, we're talking big samples. We're talking big. We have rough patches here and there, but
Well, talking about big samples this month on this show, I'm down $84.35.
You should quit.
Yeah, well, we speak about bigger sample size. Last month we won 13.5K. The month before that, 3K on just a few shows. So still overall sitting at a 5%, 6% ROI. So I really can't complain.
That's really solid.
Yeah.
Hey, you were talking about this on Twitter. I know, this is not like a gambling thing where I guess you're with talking about homers. We were talking about betting on home runs last week, and we were talking a little bit about pre-show as well. And the weather right now is just not conducive for homers in most places. Some places, of course, like Texas, where it's hot or the roof is open and that kind of thing, or controlled environments like Milwaukee. But are you betting on guys homering right now? Because again, obviously everything's case by case, but I know we fired on it and talked about it a couple of times. And I've seen, the numbers are down. Cardi was talking about as far as homers being down, and there's a lot of factors in there. I don't know if the humidor is a factor, humidor in every single ballpark. I don't know. The short spring training, which you think would hurt pitchers too, right? But of course the weather is probably the biggest one, where it's like 30, 40 degrees in a lot of places. And Kevin Ross, chief meteorologist, will talk to you about how that, subdues baseballs from going further. But I think it's a general thought, like maybe like not betting guys to homer in these extreme weather environments that are cold is probably a good idea.
Well, a lot of times it's baked into the price tag. But yeah, so what I've been betting a lot this year is total bases bets, and I've done fairly well at them. Wonder what my current record on this is. Yeah, apparently I'm about breaking even on player props for MLB, but I've had COVID and my brain isn't fully functioning, and it's been a short season so far. We've still got plenty of time. So, but yeah,
it's funny you bring that up because I felt like I should have, in retrospect. Remember we had a conversation about Buxton homering, and he was like 2.5 or 3 to 1 to homer, and I'm like, he was like 2 to 1, and I'm like, I can't bet anybody 2 to 1 to homer. Yeah, I know. And we talked about it. And this isn't like, I just thought it was interesting. And I should have said in retrospect, why not just bet the total bases at like even money or whatever it was? And I don't know if you watched that game, but Buxton hit a ball. Like, I think he hit 2 balls, like 2 doubles, like one right off the wall. They missed it by like a foot, and it wasn't perfect weather. So, in retrospect, and like, if the weather was a little bit better, I think that ball would have gone over the fence and that kind of thing. But maybe betting total bases is better, like you're suggesting now, or just the concept.
It's a lot better odds. Because you can get there. Like generally, the line is either over 0.5, which is just to get a hit, or over 1.5, which a lot of the lines I bet are over 1.5, and spots where like, we'll just go into the one I have today. I have Jared Walsh over 1.5 total bases. I think I got it plus 120. Yeah, plus 120 here. Going up against Garcia. Garcia, solid overall pitcher. Solid pitcher. But versus lefties, not very solid. 213 ISO since the beginning of last season, 354 WOBA. Jared Walsh, 401 WOBA, 230 ISO going up against righties. So he has a platoon split. He's on the road team, which is nice because you decent chance of getting extra at bat if they're behind. Like you never know if the home team's going to play their last inning, the ninth. So Jared Walsh over 1.5 total bases. Like if I get a guy with a platoon split at decent plus odds, I have it at 50% chance of happening. So roughly should be a 10% ROI on this spot here. So that's my total base bet today. Are you with me on that one?
Yeah, the lineup's going to be weakened with the absence of Trout. Trout most likely not playing. Got hit on the hand yesterday. It was negative, but they said they're probably going to give him a day or two, according to Madden. So that's a tricky thing because the lineup overall is weakened, but Walsh presumably should jump up a spot to probably.
I mean, but the lineup, yeah, it does. Like not having Trout in there probably takes away from his total at bats. 0.05 at bats total, maybe 0.1 at bats total over the course of the entire game. But it moves Walsh up one in the lineup. Most likely he'll be batting third instead of fourth. So really, it probably doesn't change things at all for his total amount of at bats. If you're betting total bases, like RBIs definitely take a hit. Runs potentially take a hit for Walsh, but more likely it's just RBIs because Trout's going to be on base. So total bases isn't fully affected or affected really at all with when you consider he's moving up in the lineup for this spot here. So he's going to still be getting 4 or 5 plate appearances. He's still going up against the same pitcher. Maybe the pitcher stays in the game longer, but I mean, Garcia versus a bullpen arm isn't a huge difference. And realistically, with knowing that we're getting the platoon split with Garcia, it's overall probably a positive on his overall total bases.
He'll see Garcia twice. They don't really push him very hard, Garcia. 71 pitches his first start. You know, he's not a guy that they really fully push. So almost definitely he sees him 2 times and no more, no less, that kind of thing. Yeah, I guess I'm okay with it. I don't love it, but I'm okay with it. I did think it was interesting. Like, I don't know what Garcia's K number is. Again, the tricky part is he's not going to stay that long, but the projected Angels lineup, good Lord, it is without Trout. It's bad, and there's a ton of strikeouts. You know, Adele's a big strikeout guy, especially right on right. Marsh will strike out 30%. 28.3% is the projected number. That is a massive number. And Garcia is a pretty good strikeout pitcher, too, at 26.7. The tricky part, again, is how long does he stick around? Maybe he goes 5, possibly 6 innings. Maybe he throws 85, maybe 90 pitches if things are going really well, or probably not. Do we have a number on him? I'm curious what
it's 5.5, which I think is about right. I mean, he went 71 pitches in his first outing. The bat has him projected for, let's see.
That lineup is awesome, but again, it's a matter of how long does he stick around for.
Garcia is projected for 82 pitches, which sounds about right. The bat has him projected for 5.86 overall strikeouts. I mean,
you get any juice on that, or it's basically even money?
It's plus 130 over on Caesar, plus 125 over on DK.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think you might have convinced me into that. I'm going to hit that.
Plus 130, man? That's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, with no Trout, like just so many strikeouts. And I mean, I know he struggles versus lefties, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 lefties in the lineup. But I mean, Marsh is a huge strikeout guy. Rojas is a big strikeout guy. Wade's a big strikeout guy. Walsh is a pretty big strikeout guy. So I mean, the big thing to worry about is the overall walks there, potentially getting his pitch count up. But you know what? You got me convinced on it. I'm throwing.
And he struggles against lefties. That's true, but he also strikes them out. 23.6% is not bad.
Not at the same. Yeah, it's not bad, but it's not the same rate as
30% versus righties.
Yeah,
but like that lineup is loaded with potential strikeouts. Even Ohtani, how great he is, he'll strike out plenty.
Yeah,
I think that number is a little bit low, especially when you're getting plus 130. I think is a real selling point.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk some strikeout props because I got a decent amount of them today. First one, we'll just start off with the whole game. We got the Giants going up against the Mets, and there is weather concerns here, which I probably should have taken more into account. I'm slightly regretting it, but not really. Not regretting the Cobb one, but I am slightly regretting going over on McGill, 5.5 strikeouts. But I got Cobb Over 5.5 strikeouts, over 4.5 strikeouts at minus 146. Then 6+ at 154, 7+ at 320, 8+ at 630. I just laddered this all the way up, but he looked fantastic in his first outing. His velocity's up this year. We look at his numbers from his first start, 47.6% K rate. I'm not expecting that again, but he should go later into the game in this one. Not really a great matchup for strikeouts going up against the Mets, but he was a 25% K rate guy last season. Now has a 2 mph increase in velocity. Like, always been a great prospect, always been a good, potentially good pitcher, and finally came together last year. And now you got the increase in velocity. I hammered the over on his strikeouts.
Yeah, I just Googled his age. I know, like, he's always been one of those guys that, like, he never really fully got there. He's stuck around at the same time. He's 34, Alex Cobb. Like, is he starting to find it at 34? I don't know. But you're right. The velocity is up.
I mean, look at Rich Hill. Look at Charlie Morton.
Rich Hill does it with, like, guile and, savviness, right? Like Dick Mountain he throws like 70-mile-an-hour baseballs, right? Doesn't he? It's all curveballs, isn't it, Rich Hill? I think it is.
Yeah, he finally discovered a curve, but look at Charlie Morton. I mean, he's like 38.
Yeah.
I guess he had a decent year in Pittsburgh, but he was like a 4.5 ERA guy until he got to Houston in 2017, and then 3.62, 3.13, 3.05.
Houston,
ignore 2020.
Garrett Cole was in Houston. Houston, you say?
Yeah. No, I mean, generally. But, I mean, look at Alex Cobb. He's bounced around. He was, I believe, on the he was on trash on – he was in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I forgot about Tampa Bay. He was in Baltimore. He actually wasn't he wasn't terrible in Tampa Bay. Like 2013, a 2.76 ERA. 2014, a 2.87 ERA. 22 and 27 starts. Then he got blown up one year, and then went to Baltimore and was not good.
Yeah,
but I mean, he's been a not terrible pitcher, I guess, his career.
He survived. Like, we'll give him that. Like, he stuck around. By the way, according to MLB.com, you know what his nickname is? This is important.
What is it?
It's Swan. I've never heard it before.
Swan song. This is my swan song. But yeah, and then on the other side, McGill, over 5.5 strikeouts. He looked fantastic his first two outings. Didn't go that late in the game. I think 86 and 89 pitches. No, 68 and 76. I can't remember what I was thinking of with that. But 6 and 5 strikeouts, gets a matchup going up against San Francisco. And San Francisco, a lot of Ks in their lineup. Yaz, 25%. Belt, 27%. Ruff, 34%. Peterson, 24%. Duggar, 32%. Bart, low sample size, 44%. So that's a good strikeout lineup. I have the over 5.5. And yes, the weather's a concern, but it should be dry for 90+ minutes. I don't expect Cobb or McGill to go that late into the game anyways. So they can probably get 5 innings there. So I still like the bets. Weather does concern me.
I know you made your bets already. If you could take them back and just kind of wait and see what the weather is like right now, would you advise somebody hitting it, or just kind of waiting to see what the new?
I'd advise hitting the Cobb over 4.5. I don't care. Like Cobb will hit 4.5 easily. Sitting at minus 144 over or 145 over on MGM. I got it 146, I think. But yeah, that's one bet I still suggest. But
yeah, I mean, Roth basically said, and he wrote this morning, so like, take it, grain of salt, that kind of thing. And like, of course, he'll have a better update later on. But like the models, like you suggested, the game will be dry the first 90 minutes. Again, that's best guess. And we were talking about it like, okay, who cares about innings 8 and 9, right? Like they're gone anyway.
Yeah.
And like maybe if the umpire is aware that this game is, weather is pending and it's coming in an hour and a half or 2 hours, maybe we pick up the pace and we widen the strike zone. Like, who knows? You never really know what their thought process is. Or maybe the game just gets canceled. Who knows? We'll see. Stay tuned.
Yeah, my guess is if it's not going to make it to 7 innings, they'll just cancel it because it's supposed to rain all night. So depending on what things look like, I'm guessing they'll get – because they don't – like Mets don't really want to waste a McGill start. So they'll like know beforehand and they'll be like, all right, this is not going to happen. Or we should get 2+ hours of this and we'll be good.
Can I just say, I don't know how big of a fan of Better Call Saul you are, or if you're aware of the references, but you get to play Slippin' Jimmy McGill, Slippin' Tyler McGill. Jimmy McGill's a character in Better Call Saul. On the night he's coming back, and Tyler McGill's, I mean, come on. Like, how do you not do that?
Well, there we go. Some great analytics there from Daniel Shabelson.
I give you both angles.
Another bet that I'm on that I believe you're on too. Manea over 6.5 strikeouts. He's looked fantastic so far. We look at what he's done, and he was the guy I think that was 86 and 86 and 89 pitches. Yeah, 88 and 86 pitches first two outings, 6 and 7 Ks. But Arizona and San Francisco. Now he gets a matchup going up against Cincinnati, where everyone strikes out, probably going to face a decent amount of lefties because they don't have anyone to platoon out. They traded everyone off. So like if Fraley and Moustakas and Nyquin are all in the lineup,
oh yeah,
he's going to just crush that.
Let's party
easily. Yeah, I mean he strikes out lefties at a huge clip, and then the righties like really aren't great bats. Aristides, big strikeout guy. So I love this. I love this bet here, and we're getting it at plus 120 odds over a DK.
And even Votto, who you think of like you don't think of Votto as like this guy, but left on left Votto, 173 plate appearances versus lefty since 2021, 31% strikeouts. Like he changed his swing, right? He eventually like 34 years old or whatever he is, said let's hit homers now. Like let's instead of like just like putting the ball the other way, that kind of thing. 31% strikeouts. You talk about the split as far as Manaea. He doesn't get to face a lot of lefties. 574 bats versus righties, 177 versus lefties. Most teams, like you said, they load up righties against them, but Cincinnati don't have that option. Even like they have Colin Moran, lefty on the bench, and okay, if he plays two, that's fine. Like I guess Brandon Drury can crack the lineup, but Naquin's a bunch of Ks layaway. Moustakas ain't it. That guy he is toast. Whatever word you want to use, like he's donezo. I don't know what his contract situation is, but he's 33, 34 years old. He is sputtering at this point in his career. I would love to see him in the lineup. 33% strikeouts versus lefties. I love that. And the Manaea thing as far as the pitch count, he did go 6 and 7 innings. So sometimes some managers, depending on, and I don't know, they think, well, just like that's the innings and that's that. And like maybe they would let him go 100 pitches if it's still within the 6 inning parameter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, that brings up Aaron in chat was asking Caesar's boost worth taking. Padres win plus Manea over 19.5 outs. So essentially saying we'll get to 6 and 2/3 innings. I don't think he gets to 6 2/3 innings. Like the boost isn't enough.
That's tough
for me. And I was trying to figure out a way to do it on this, but I mean I don't.
There's a route, but like I wouldn't count on him pitching 7 innings. That's There's a route.
What's his outs?
I mean, it's probably like 18.
Yeah, it's sitting at 17.5 is actually minus 170, which that's 6 innings. I expect him to get 6 innings. I don't expect him to get further.
But that's getting it 170, minus 170. It's just,
Yeah, to get to 6 minus 170 is about right. That's roughly a 62% chance of happening. I would say, 62% chance that he gets the quality start, which is 6 innings and under 3 runs. So, Manea, I don't like that boost there. Let's move on to my next bet. I have Eric Lauer over 5.5 strikeouts. I think you're in on this one with me. The matchup's just incredible here. I mean, Pittsburgh, they strike out a ton. Looking at plate IQ, look at all that red.
Mm-hmm.
Like Reynolds is not a terrible strikeout bat, but there's only one guy that strikes out at a below average clip, and that's Hayes. Likely going to be several lefties in there, or only going to be 2 lefties in there. Everyone else is a switch hitter. Lauer 25% K rate versus righties.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, right? Like he's a left-handed pitcher, and you don't typically see that, but he's got basically a neutral split. But the Ks were pretty extreme to righties, almost 26%, 16% versus lefties. But I don't know if that's going to settle somewhere a little bit in the middle. That seems pretty extreme, right? As far as that,
it is pretty extreme, and I mean, he's got he mixes in a lot of pitches. His slider just doesn't get a ton of whiffs. Like that's one of his main pitches going up against lefties. His cutter I think is generally a reverse splitsy. Yeah, I mean, it'll probably regress somewhere towards the mean. I think you're right. It's not going to be like 15.7%. That's also on 115 plate appearances compared to 370 going up against righties.
Milwaukee also let him go 89 pitches his first start. I know he didn't go 5 innings. He wasn't efficient, but like they've done that so far as a team this year. I don't know if you noticed, like their pitchers have been out there for a while, like more so than other teams. I don't know if it's an organizational decision or what's going on there, but yeah, basically I think Lauer is reasonably safe as far as his pitch count. He's not a guy that's going to throw 100 pitches, but assuming he's pitching okay, I think 90. And you talk about that lineup versus Pittsburgh is pretty positive. Like lots of strikeouts there. Pittsburgh, again, one of the more inept offenses to pick on. We don't know if Vogelbach's going to be in there, but if those, the CEO of Team Girth, you want him in there because, big boy from the left side, he's probably not going to play. But it'd be nice. We're still waiting on lineups, obviously. I asked you about this before about like reacting to lineups, and you said that typically the books they aren't really proactive.
No, they're not.
Yeah, and you have a window when they come out. Like if you see something where it's like, well, wait a second, here's 3 heavy contact hitters we didn't expect to hit, or vice versa. Here's 3 guys that whiff a ton that, wow, who knew they were going to play? And that's something you take advantage of, I imagine.
Yep. Yeah. No, oftentimes I do. But yeah, and I laddered this bet. So this one's interesting. Let's see if it's still this way. Something I noticed, but also for a multitude of reasons. But Lauer, his 5 or 6+ strikeouts is sitting at plus 124. Over 5.5 is sitting at plus 122. So you're better off betting 6+ strikeouts than plus over 5.5.
Oh, okay, I got you.
It's generally the opposite way. Like I'm sure with Zach Thompson, his over/under is sitting at 4+. Yeah, see that's the exact same. 4+ and 3.5 is both sitting at minus 130. So yeah, it's a weird one where you want to go with 6+ strikeouts instead of over 5.5, which is the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's just the phrasing of it because you can't get 5.5 strikeouts. It's not possible.
Well, this is interesting here. 9+ strikeouts is plus 1,000. 10+ strikeouts is plus 1,000. 11+ strikeouts is plus 1,000, and 12+ strikeouts is plus 1,000.
Just bet at 12, just for fun.
I wonder if they'd let me get more money in on.
That's so weird.
I'm not even signed in. Yeah.
That's a good thing to point to, to show I don't know if the lines aren't efficient or they're just not paying attention. That's just weird that that's out there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are they just paying? I mean, don't they have algorithms set up for everything now? They're not paying attention to this?
They also know that some people are just dumb and be like, I think he gets 10+. I'm going to hit that, and don't even notice the other lines.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Some guys straight up just do max, the max strikeouts for a guy.
No.
Don't look at anything at all, which is absolutely ridiculous. Let's screenshot that. That's just silly to me. But no, I like you with me on Lauer?
Yeah, we talked about this on pre-show. Like both those, and we talked about the ladder for Manaea, and you didn't seem to like it as much as I did. I saw it on FanDuel. Let's see, 8+ at 230, 9+ at 440. It's tough. But again, you expect to lose that, but I think there's a route, there's a path, especially to get the right lineup for Cincinnati. But I don't know if the odds are great, but I just today in the expert survey for RG, I wrote, and your bold call. My bold call today was that Sean Manaea has 10+ strikeouts, and that's plus 830. Again, that's not likely to happen. That's not a likely scenario. Hence bold call. But you got to shoot your shot. I don't hate it.
Yeah. Something I was looking at earlier, I might end up hitting. Let's see where the odds ended up going at. This is
the expert survey. Poole. Oh, go ahead.
Jordan Poole over 3.5 assists, sitting at minus 106 on FanDuel. That seems bad.
I haven't thought about it, but what I can tell you is that I know Draymond had the most potential assists in Game 1. He had 17. I don't know what Poole's were offhand, for what it's worth. You're saying it should be over that or under that?
Over. I'm hitting it. Now let me get $254 down on it. Boom. There
Do we presume that he's starting and Steph is not starting, or what are we expecting out of that?
It wouldn't surprise me.
What are we projecting? I'm checking our projections now. I'm curious. Yeah, we have Poole starting with Thompson, Wiggins, Green, and Looney, and then Steph coming off the bench. I presume they're going to ramp Steph up a little bit more. Maybe he even starts. Who knows? Yeah.
I mean, I think they got this pretty. Jordan Poole just moved to plus 102. Hammer that. I don't know if they'll let me get any more money down on it. Nope, they will not. Great.
Did news drop on something with there? I'm just checking to see if anything dropped as far as that game.
I mean, it's not a huge drop. It's 8 points. It just sometimes happens. But yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Any other bets I have? Zach Thompson, under 3.5 strikeouts. He had 3 in his first one. He's not good. He is not good. Doesn't really strike out either side of the plate at an above average clip. Can get a little bit wild versus lefties, and there's Wong in there. There's Yelich. There's Rowdy. There's Narvaez. There's Peterson. All of them walk at a pretty big clip. Thompson, I think, only went – what did he go in his first one? It wasn't much. I think like 70 pitches, 67 pitches in his first outing. So not going to go that late. Yeah. I mean, I think he left with a shoulder injury, but I don't expect him to go that late. He's not a good pitcher. I think he gets blown up by Milwaukee.
Yeah, I don't have a hot take on that. I'm good with what you're,
Oh, man, Jordan Poole's still moving. Now it's at plus 110.
I'm saying, what is going on there? Is there some sort of report, or why is it moving all of a sudden? Do you move the needle?
It's moving in the op. Now it's plus 120.
I don't know what the story is.
Yeah, a lot of books took it down. Let's see. Is there news here?
Is there news that like Steph is going to start?
I don't know. I'm looking.
Like Poole's still going to play plenty for what it's worth. Like that doesn't. It's not like he's out of the rotation or anything like that.
No, I don't want to see COVID-19 news. COVID-19 is done for now that I have it.
You've had it. You've had the remix. You've had the sequel.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't see any. Oh, Jordan Poole. No, it's just he's not a finalist for most improved player. Yeah, I don't see any news, but I mean, I'll hit it. I just hit it minus 102. I hit it at plus 120.
It's the dumbest award, isn't it?
Huh?
I know it's not. This is not the platform for that. But that's like the dumbest award. However, anybody qualifies what most improved means. How certain guys move up a little more incrementally than others, but like it's like you're almost like a precursor to the MVP. I don't know. It's just odd how they come up with the most improved guys because, I can argue that I think Poole is a guy that definitely took a big step forward. It was a step bigger or smaller than John Moran. I don't know.
Yeah, they took the lines off. I have no idea what's happening here.
I'm trying to find Warriors like beat writers or something like that.
Yeah, I don't see any news. I don't know why it keeps moving. What's it at now? Still at plus 120. Why won't they let me put more money on it? Darn it. Darn you, FanDuel. I hate you.
Are you at all concerned that something's going on out there or no? You're
fine. Now I'm concerned. Now it's at plus 130. It's literally just keeps moving. And it's got pulled from other sites.
It's got to be that like Steph's starting and Poole's not.
Now it's down to plus 110. A lot of movement on this.
Or like maybe some mega tout site or something like gave out a pick on the other side or who knows what's I don't know. And like a bunch of people just hit it at once.
I mean there's always some rent. Let's see. Pool 3.5. Let's see if anyone's tweeted out recently.
Steph only played 21 and a half minutes the first game. I mean, he would have closed, obviously. But,
I don't see any.
Ramped up.
Yeah, it's got to be some some random guy who has a lot of people following him tweeted to go with the under, which I don't understand because there's nothing pointing towards the under being a good bet. So that's weird.
I'm checking our minutes projection on Golden State right now, just to see if we have anything on that. I'm assuming, yeah, Steph, we have a 28 now, which is a jump. We have Poole at 33. Poole played 30 last game, but again, didn't play like at least half the fourth quarter because of a blowout. And I assume like other guys would get hits as well. It wouldn't be. It's not Steph directly taking minutes away from Poole, I don't think. Not a whole bunch. Okay, I don't know. That's interesting though.
Yeah. Sometimes weird things just happen. But yeah, apparently Milo in chat saying it's now minus 115 over. Sometimes it's different in different states for some weird reason. But I have no idea. I just
is responding to somebody on Twitter and calling them Bud. That's like one of the more condescending. I mean, like because inherently Bud is
okay, guy.
Like buddy.
What are you talking about, friend?
Yeah, when you say buddy, like, oh, that's my buddy, that's my friend. But like when you say bud or even buddy, like it's never really like well-meaning. It's not, you're not doing it like in a nice gesture, right? Like, Cardi has responded to somebody, he just called somebody bud, and like it's
throwing dukes there.
Big guy. I don't know what else the other ones out there. But
okay, pal.
Oh yeah, it's another one. Chief.
Okay, Dane Cook.
Oh, you know what? Boss is such a condescending one. You know, unless it's actually your boss, then maybe it's fine. I don't know.
I have some. I know some people that use it in a friendlier term, but
yeah. If somebody calls me boss, it's like, well, you never really know.
By the way, you watched Lord of the Rings yet?
I watched the first half hour and I fell asleep. I'm gonna get.
You watch Aladdin yet?
No, I have so many good things to watch, and I gotta watch some terrible stuff. But yes, I'm gonna watch it all. I trust me.
Disagree. Apparently, Aladdin's fantastic.
Well, and you were watching the Will Smith one, or watching the Gilbert Gottfried one?
Gilbert Gottfried as an homage.
Yeah, love Gilbert.
Yeah,
so good on the roasts.
95% by critics, 92% by the audience.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's 8-year-olds, but sure.
Disagree.
8-year-olds are logging in on Rotten Tomatoes saying they loved Aladdin.
All right, well, we got to get out of here. I got to go put money into my 401k or my IRA, which they're making.
Nice humble bracket. Look at you. You got money?
Well, I'm trying to decrease my tax liability. I filed an extension because taxes are a pain, and I have to. It's a tax deduct. Like I have to go put money into my IRA to get deduction for 2021 because I made too much money.
Didn't you do a tax video?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just telling go sign up for DFS, go to DFS accounting if you have tax problems.
Right. I mean, I know you're not officially giving tax advice, yada yada, all the
no, I'm not technically a CPA. My father's a great CPA. He does my taxes. I don't even do my own taxes anymore.
STL Cards can vouch for your father being an excellent accountant. He's like a big fan of his, which is so weird. It's a weird sentence, but I think it's true, right?
Yeah. And I mean, STL Cards, big fan of my dad.
You not so much, but your dad?
Yeah, doesn't care about me. But all right, let's get on out of here. Dean, any last minute thoughts?
No. Well, I mean, look, I'm excited about Better Call Saul, and I'm going to watch that before I'm going to watch your Lord of the Rings, but I'll knock out Lord of the Rings. Don't worry about it. But yeah, you know, and the baseball. I'm excited about baseball. Firing at some basketball DFS wise. We almost got there last night, Grant. Man, I was like 4th or 5th in the showdown. I was like 4th or 5th in the DK. People don't care about this stuff, but yeah, hopefully we take something down this evening. Have ourselves, a good night, and good luck everybody out there to the people. And I have premium, by the way. I just said hello in your what is it called? The Action Lounge.
There you are. I have premium.
I know a guy.
Cobb and Miguel heads up. Yep.
Yeah. That one. That's a good final word to say. Actually, is like because I don't. We don't know. Wait and see. And you hope the ballpark they wouldn't start the game and then cancel it like three innings later. But hopefully they're on top of it. There's already been 2 games canceled tonight. Weather is looming. See what Roth has to say. Let's get out of here. You go put some money in your IRA.
All right. See you, kids.
Holler.